It is Saturday, March 30th, and you are watching You Don't Watch Sports right here on the Feo Grande YouTube network. I am Bill Smith, and I am joined, as always, with the man, the myth, the legend, Feo Grande himself, Omari Ellis. Omari, how was your sports week?
You know what? Sports week's all right. Better than last week's. Last week Panthers got rid of somebody. This week they got somebody. They got Jadeveon Clowney. Now here's hoping he's still good. He's been in the league for a minute now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking forward to having somebody on the defense, somebody else to add to the defense. One of the few shining points of the Panthers. Also excited for something we're going to talk about in a minute.
Wonderful. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we're going to cover three different topics here because on you don't watch sports, we are going to be the guiding light through your sea that is sports talk. We're going to simplify it down to three little topics, sprinkle a little information in your sports conversation. Now on to topic number 1, Omari. I'm going to let you take over this one cuz this is going to be one of your wheelhouses coming up the next few months. We got something fun starting, and
Oh, yeah.
I need you to give me the primer for it. Get me primed. I need to know.
All right. So this weekend, today, Saturday, is the beginning of the, I guess, inaugural season of the UFL. I say guess inaugural because it's kind of season 3 of the new XFL, if you know what I'm saying. But they merged with the USFL over the off season, and we've got 8 teams left, and they're all in action, obviously, today. Starting off with the Birmingham Stallions of USFL fame going against the XFL champions, the Arlington Renegades. That's at 1 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, March 30th, today in Arlington. We got the St. Louis Battlehawks. You know what I'm
Caw,
saying? Caw, caw is long.
caw,
You know what they say.
caw,
We got the St. Louis
caw,
Battlehawks against the
caw,
Michigan Panthers in Detroit
caw.
Saturday at 4 p.m. And then Sunday, we got the people with the beer snakes, the DC Defenders, the second best fans in the XFL or UFL. Jesus Christ, superstar. And the second best fans in the UFL, the DC Defenders, going up against the Rocks team, the San Antonio Brahmas, down in San Antonio, Texas at noon on Sunday. And then the Memphis Showboats go against the Houston Roughnecks, another team that is always seen at the top of the leaderboards when it came to the XFL. They're going to head Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern out of Houston. So I'm
Okay.
looking forward to it. We got AJ McCarron, our quarterback from last year. He came back for the Battle Hawks.
Caw.
He spent a lot of time in the NFL as a backup. Had fun last year. He's like, you know what? I can see this being cool. I believe he's grown to like St. Louis a lot anyway, and him and his family really love it. So let's go UFL. I'm excited. St. Louis ain't got no professional football team outside of the Battlehawks, so naturally, when they got
Caw.
announced, I went all in. Cacao!
Nice.
Yeah.
Omari, I got two questions for you.
Go ahead.
One, Michigan has Panthers?
I mean, technically, if they've got lions and tigers, which are part
Sure.
of the Panthera, cat genus,
Uh-huh.
why
Uh-huh.
not? They technically got them.
Okay. Fair. That's a brilliant retort. And then secondly, who you looking at this season?
I'm looking at the Battlehawks, the teams
Caw.
that. So last season, there were 4 teams in the XFL made it to the playoffs, but they did it by conference with wins and losses.
Mm-hmm.
The Vipers were terrible, so there were, I think, 3 teams that were 3-1 on our side of the conference that the Battlehawks were in, and there was Battlehawks, DC Defenders, Roughnecks, and then I think probably the Vipers because they're terrible. So terrible they're not here anymore. Anyway, no, no, it wasn't the Vipers. That was the worst team. I'm sorry, it was the Orlando team. The Orlando Guardians were the 0-4. The Vipers were 0-4 on the other conference. But the other conference, like I said, had the Houston Roughnecks and the Arlington Renegades. They were 2-2. Due to win and loss things, I believe we traded with the Defenders, and thus the Defenders got into the playoffs and we didn't, despite having a better record than the Renegades, who went on to win the championship. So I'm looking at us to
Mm.
run it back and make it to the playoff, despite not making it last year. It's not the NFL where, oh, you didn't make the playoffs last year, well, you ain't making it for the next 5 years. No, we got a fair enough chance to make it back. But obviously, the four teams they decided to keep from each league are all like pretty much the stronger teams of their
Okay.
leagues.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what these USFL teams were about. I forget which one of these teams was the champion. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember which one. I want to say Birmingham, but I'm not sure. But
Sweet.
yeah,
I'm excited. We're going to be breaking it down every week. Hope you guys stick around and break down the first job is going to be remember the name of it. UFL?
UFL,
UFL. Okay. All right.
Ultimate, I believe, Football League.
UFL. Let's move on to topic number 2, Omari. Baseball, baby. Baseball.
Yeah, it's
Baseball is
Joe
back, baby.
Wheelhouse.
Baseball is back, baby. It's here. The season has started. Now it's gonna be a real long season. I'm not gonna start going into wins and losses here. We're at 3 games of 162 potentially. Some teams have only played 2. I'm gonna do something a little crazy here. We're gonna rapid fire. I'm gonna go through every single team in the league, and I'm gonna tell you what you need to know about them.
Ooh, all right.
All right. We're going to start in the American League Central.
Cool.
Chicago White Sox, they're in a rebuild year. They just traded their young phenom ace starting pitcher to the San Diego Padres.
Okay.
So, their hopes right now are anything can happen now. We've burnt down to the ashes. We got a bunch of young prospects. We got a bunch of draft picks. And
Mm-hmm.
anything's possible now.
Yeah.
Also, Luis Robert Jr. Cleveland Guardians. If you're a Cleveland Guardians fan, I think you're a little upset right now. You weren't active in the playoffs. The division is kind of up for the grabs, and you didn't do anything. You even moved a little bit away from winning. If your thing to root for is Shane Bieber is still a member of your team. Shane Bieber is a great pitcher. He's coming down to the back half of his career, and he could be traded this year. So you want to get in your Shane Bieber love while you have it. The Detroit Tigers. Detroit Tigers might be the sneaky pick to win this division, Omari. They got a really talented roster, and they could sneak in there and get in there. Kansas City Royals, young, not going to be good. I'm sorry. We're not sure what we're going to do there. You signed and extended your young talent, and you still have an amazing catcher. Focus on that. Minnesota Twins, what is you doing, baby? You didn't do anything this offseason. You let
Good.
people go. Um, you won the division last year, and you're kind of already immediately giving up. If I was a Minnesota Twins fan, I'd be pretty upset right now. Let's go to the American League East. The Baltimore Orioles, you might be the best team in the league. You're
Yeah, they
insane.
were ridiculous last year, right?
They were ridiculous last year. They were good in the playoffs, and they've only improved. You're getting more young talent. The young talent that you had last year is coming back. And then you went and traded for Corbin Burns, one of the top 10 pitchers in the league. You're going to be insane this year. You're going to have there's multiple teams on here that are going to have 100 plus wins. You're probably one of them. Boston Red Sox, you're kind of middling, but you're going to be interesting. You're going to play spoiler most of the year. You're going to jump in, you're going to mess up all these good teams every week, every other weekend or so, and have an interesting season that's inevitably unsuccessful. The New
Yeah.
York Yankees, you've paid a lot of money and you've traded for the team that you have, and I think you're going to be riddled with injury. We'll see. That's my hot take on that one. If not, you should be going to the World Series. But I don't know if that's going to happen. Tampa Bay Rays, I don't know what you're doing. I think you're in a soft rebuild year. Tampa always has the things that they can root for of just playing good baseball in the field. But I just don't think you have the pieces to go over like you have in the past. Toronto Blue Jays, this is probably your last year. You need to push hard and you need to get through it. The key person to know about Toronto when talking Toronto Blue Jays is Vladimir Guerrero Jr., a dynasty baseball player who is a murderer of baseballs. Hit one on opening day that went in it was an insane home run. Look it up later. American League West. Let's go to the Houston Trastros. Houston Trastros keep on doing this thing, Omari, and you
And
can't say that
banging
they're
on
not.
trash cans.
You can't say that they're not going to not do this thing until somebody stops them from doing it. Until further notice, this is still their division, and we'll see if they can keep holding on.
Keep
Um,
pounding, as they say.
the Los Angeles Angels, this is your first year without Shohei Ohtani. Let's see what happens. Can you get a full healthy year from Mike Trout? Does Anthony Rendon actually want to play baseball now that he's getting paid $30 million a year? Or is he fine just being a nuisance and potential clubhouse cancer? We don't know. Why didn't you pick up any of these big free agents that were out there? These are the things that I ask myself for Los Angeles Angels. Oakland Athletics slash Las Vegas Athletics. I'm not even sure where you're playing baseball this year. I think that's the biggest question of your team. You officially moved out of Oakland, but yet you haven't moved into Las Vegas. I don't know what's happening there. Will anybody come to your games? I don't know. They're not important, and you're not putting a good team on the baseball field. The Seattle Mariners should be able to win this division, but I don't know if they can do it, Omari. They get really close each year, and then it falls apart for them. Big name to know on the Seattle Mariners is J. Rod, and he will hopefully. I mean, the kid is MVP potential, and he could potentially get that any given year. Maybe the year that Seattle finally wins the division is a year where he's putting some awards in his chest.
All
Texas
right.
Rangers, the defending World Series champions, have allowed some folks to leave, and they haven't brought a whole lot in. So let's see what's happening with them. However, you do have two pitchers that were hurt during your playoff run that are
Oh
going to be
shit.
coming back this season, and that's Jacob DeGrom and Max Scherzer. Those are two very good pitchers that weren't even on your
I've heard of
team.
Scherzer's name.
They weren't even on your active roster when you won the World Series. So let's see what happens there. That is the entire American League. I'm not sure how long I've gone. Maybe we should do the National League next week.
I don't know. It's not you.
The Chicago
I
Cubs,
like
I
that.
hate you. You suck. Die. Cincinnati Reds, you might actually be a good team. Ellie De La Cruz is very interesting to watch, but you let Joey Votto go to a different team, so that's a little weird. Why didn't you bring back Joey Votto? The Milwaukee Brewers, you should be winning these divisions, but you never do. You're never making that next step to be a great team, and I don't know why you're not. And then you traded Corbin Burns to the Baltimore Orioles. So if you're a Milwaukee fan, I guess you have that to look forward to. Baltimore has been producing insanely good young talent, and you probably just traded for a couple of great kids. Pittsburgh Pirates have a lot of, again, that's a young team that could be very powerful, could be the surprise pick to win the division. We'll see. St. Louis Cardinals, you got a lot of, it's completely opposite end of the spectrum. You got a lot of old talent. You're trying to
Experience.
yep. You're trying to patchwork through the season and get through the year. You're already starting the year with four key components of your team on the injured list. So let's see if that can get through. Names to watch, as always, are Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt, and the young phenom Jordan Walker. Let's see what he can do on his sophomore year. Moving on to the
World
National
Series,
League East.
baby.
Atlanta Braves, you're an insane team. You're unstoppable. You're a juggernaut. You are the second team on this list that I can say will probably win 100 games this season or more. They are going to be very, very, very good. The Miami Marlins are a real good baseball team, but I don't know how good they are. They could get a wild card spot. They're about at that level. As always, your pitching is going to be the thing that dominates in this, but your offense is young and there's a lot of bright spots there. The New York Mets, you have a gigantic payroll, and so far it hasn't paid off. So let's see if things can work out there. As always, Francisco Lindor is the one to watch there. And then Pete Alonso doesn't have a contract extension. So with all that money flying around, you haven't locked up the polar bear. He kind of feels like Mr. Met. That is a little weird. The Philadelphia Phillies are an insanely great team. It's insane that they might be the second best team in their own division. Because they play with the Atlanta Braves. But the Philadelphia Phillies are an insane team that are basically built to beat the Atlanta Braves in 5 game series. That is that is the reason for their construction, and they didn't really change much this year. But why would you when you've gone deep in the playoffs 2 years in a row? So we'll look forward to that. Washington Nationals, you know what the deal is there. You're young, you're not that good, you're looking to be good. It's a positive if you're just scrappy and involved. On to the National League West. The Arizona Diamondbacks, defending National League champions? Yes. I had to think about that
Okay.
for a second. Defending National League champions, you made a couple of additions, couple of cool additions, and you still have that crazy young talent highlighted by Corbin Burns. Corbin Carroll. Corbin Carroll. You highlighted by Corbin Carroll.
Gotcha.
So keep an eye on him. I guarantee you, he's gonna steal even more bags now that it's going to be his second year in the league. So let's keep an eye on
So
them.
he's a base
Colorado.
stealer.
Oh yeah, he's a speed demon. Colorado Rockies. Colorado Rockies are the Colorado Rockies. They never quite figure it out. They usually have a high talent team with low baseball IQ or low X factor, low something
It never clicks.
unintangibles. And then you have the aspect of playing at Mile High Stadium, or where um, the
You're a
ball just
mile
acts
high.
the ball just acts differently. A lot more home runs are dealt with. Pitching is different in Denver, and the team can never seem to really build their team to work with their environment. They're always just seem to be playing catch up with their environment as well as their opponents.
Yeah,
Um,
because of the constant travel, you can't stay acclimated long.
right. So there's that. Next in the National League West, the Los Angeles Dodgers, ladies and gentlemen, are going to be such a scary team if they stay healthy. This is the third team that, when you talk about their win number, it has to start with 3 digits and a one. Like that's the starting point, and you could start climbing up from there. I Obviously it would be alarming, and I'm not necessarily predicting it, but would I be shocked if they broke the regular season wins record? No, I wouldn't be. They're going to be an insanely dominant team. They were already a team built to win the regular season. They haven't been that successful in the playoffs, but they have won over 100 games for multiple years in a row. And then they added 3 great players. So this is going to be an extremely dominant, scary team.
What is the single season win record?
I don't know.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. I would guess it's up in the 120s,
Okay,
but don't quote me on that.
understood.
Next up, the San Diego Padres. San Diego Padres, and I'm going to go ahead and throw,
There
you
you
know what?
go.
I'm going to
Super
insult both of the
Padres,
teams, and I'm just going
San
to throw them
Diego
right in the same boat with the San
Padres.
Francisco Giants. The San Diego Padres and the San Francisco Giants are playing the same card. They are trying to beat the Los Angeles Dodgers. They have assembled incredible, stacked teams. The San Diego Padres more than the San Francisco Giants, but both of them are very good teams. Probably either one of them would go into at least three other divisions that I've mentioned before and easily win it. But this ain't the division. And so they're going to be fighting, clamoring with the Philadelphia Phillies and the Miami Marlins and nobody from the National League Central for those wild card spots, and we'll see who gets out of them. My bold day one predictions, folks. The winners of the National League West are going to be the Los Angeles Dodgers. The American League West are going to be the Seattle Mariners. The National League East is going to be the Atlanta Braves. The American League East is going to be the Baltimore Orioles. The National League Central is going to be the Cincinnati Reds. The American League Central is going to be the Detroit Tigers. The winner of your World Series is going to be the Los Angeles Dodgers. That is my day one bold ass predictions. We'll see what can come of it.
I like those division winners. Wild card us. That's my guess. We sneak in as a wild card, and then we take it. That's my non-baseball watcher but loyal fans bold prediction. Okay, for those of you that are like, okay, y'all can laugh at me if we're wrong anyway, but I'm sticking by the team. World
I,
Series.
I love it. I don't agree with it, but I love it.
All we need is a squirrel.
Omari, NBA playoffs are we got baseball season starting. We got basketball season
Oh yeah,
starting to end.
yes, it is
The
coming to
very
a
long playoff
close.
season is about ready to start up here in a couple of weeks, and we got a couple of teams on the playoff bubble.
That we do. So normally in the base basketball, sorry, in the basketball postseason, Jesus. In the basketball postseason, they had this thing that they did with the play-in tournament, kind of like your wild card thing, where teams, the top six seeds in each division, make it into the playoffs, like normal, but the teams ranked 7th through 10th had to play against each other to make it into those seeds. And right now, and 7 and 8 play each other, 9 and 10 play each other. Winner of 7 and 8 becomes the seventh seed. Loser of 7 and 8 plays the winner of 9 and 10, and that team becomes the eighth seed. That said, we got a couple teams on the bubble, like you were talking about. In the West, it's more or less decided at the moment what the positions are, because we have, the Suns and Kings at 7 and 8. 9 and 10th ranked are the Lakers, and sorry, not that's the East where it's mainly decided. The West, it is kind of close because while the Lakers are a couple games ahead of the Warriors only one game ahead of the Rockets, who right on the cusp. And the Warriors just had that instance with Draymond. He's probably gone for the rest of the season. You know,
One can hope.
he it is what it is. That happens. So, but Steph Curry is Steph Curry. Chef Curry. Whose era? LeBron who? That's what I thought.
Just looking ahead in my crystal ball, Omari. Next Thursday, the Warriors will play the Rockets.
Ooh,
Game
nice.
game to watch there. Game to watch.
Indeed. And in the East, like I said, there's pretty big lead. 7, 8 are the Heat and Sixers. 9 and 10 are the Bulls and the Hawks. And the Hawks are about 5 games ahead of the 11 seed Nets. with less than 10 games to go, the Nets could possibly, go on a tear with the Hawks having some bad fortune near the end. But the Nets are 5 games ahead of the Raptors, who are at 23 and 50, the 12th seed in the East. So, with again, less than 10 games to go, if you're about 10 games behind, does not look good for you, my
Mm-hmm.
friends.
I
Uh,
will say I am just now seeing again. We state this in the opening. We're casual fans, folks. We're working through this with you to help you digest this information so you can use it in your sports conversations.
DC.
I'm only just seeing as we're talking about this. Houston Rockets are on a 10-game winning streak.
Oh,
They are currently
okay.
riding a 10-game bolt of lightning.
They may move up past the Warriors and the Lakers. Put the Lakers on the cusp, and we get another thing where there's like a play in with Lakers versus Warriors, which has happened in the past
Okay,
few years.
let me simplify this a little bit here. Let's say the East is locked.
Yeah.
So my first question to you is, does Houston unseat the Warriors? And then what two teams out of each conference do you have going into the real dance?
Uh so does Houston unseat the Warriors? I'm going to say yes. No, I'm not. I just made the big comment earlier about believing in Steph Curry. So I'm gonna believe in Steph Curry to get to the playoffs at least.
Okay.
Uh making it to the dance out of the West. The, I mean, the Suns are the 7th seed at the moment. I got them making out because they still got Durant and Booker, I'm pretty sure, going crazy. Kings have been doing great. Oh my God, it is so hard to bet. Speaking of Kings, it's hard to bet against number 23 or number 6, whichever fucking number he's wearing this year. So I'm gonna have to say Lakers and Suns make it out of the West, mostly due to bias.
Okay.
Uh that said, in the East, I got the Heat making it out. This is just what they
Yeah,
do.
yeah, I knew you were going to choose that.
That's just what they do. And I want to root. My heart wants to go with the Bulls just because I want them to make it to the playoffs because they've been having some misfortune for a while now.
The prediction is Embiid will be back to start the playoffs. Don't know if that affects anything with you in the Sixers realm.
Embiid is the only reason that I'm saying Sixers over them, but Embiid being injured, I'm gonna say Bulls. Heat Bulls.
All
I
right.
don't think the Bulls make it past the first round, but I think they make it in.
I love it. I love it. Those were your three topics today, folks. We covered a cool list here. UFL, we got MLB, and then we got some NBA. Covered three different topics, sprinkle in that sports conversation for you. Omari, if they want to hear us talk some more, where can they find us?
Oh, well, obviously, you can find us elsewhere on this channel. We got a show called This Guy Hasn't Seen, where we trade things back and forth. One guy's seen it, other guy hasn't. Kind of a little movie club or, whatever, entertainment club
Coming
going
up on
on.
2 years.
Coming up on 2 years, nearly 100 episodes. Crazy.
Uh,
Uh, like a thwomp. Also, you can find me elsewhere on YouTube on the Whatever We Want podcast and do it every once in a while with a good friend of mine, good friend of the show, Super Jazz.
Super.
That's right, it is nature intended. Yeah, we talk about just that. I also have a Twitter and Twitch at Giotavi. That is Giotavi. Come on in, stop on by. And yeah, Bill, you got anything you want to say to the folks?
No.
All right. Well, guys, thank you very much. We'll see you next time.